He stood by the car, hands down, phone in his palm. I remember thinking he wasn't just waiting, he was counting. The man across him shouted, veins flared, spit hit the pavement. "You think this is your street?" He pointed. Close, too close. The light behind him turned red. No one crossed, no one moved. Eli didn't blink, didn't flinch, didn't answer. He just held the phone a little tighter, let the camera roll, not for the internet, not yet. Some things you don't post, you deliver, at the right time, to the right place, quietly. He didn't move, not when the man yelled, not when the hand hit the hood, not even when the girl flinched and stepped back like she'd seen that move before. Eli just stood there, still, like he'd stood there before, and he had. Same corner, same traffic light, same curve of the sidewalk cracked from winter salt. Except back then, his father was driving. That was 15 years ago. Downtown felt smaller then. No skaters, no cameras, no yelling. Just his dad adjusting the rearview mirror, humming something out of tune. The kind of man who didn't talk much until someone tried to take what was his. That car? It was never about the chrome or the make. It wasn't a showpiece. It was the last thing his dad touched before the stroke. A fingerprint still under the mirror. A scratch no detailer could fix. Left side, near the window. Same spot that jackass just leaned on. Eli didn't wipe it. Not back then. Not now. He had chances to replace the plate, clean the bumper, switch out the dented front panel. But he didn't. Because some things aren't meant to be polished. They're meant to be remembered. The first time the city tried to tow it, he let it slide. The second time, he took photos. The third, he made copies. Now, every corner of that car was documented. Timestamps, signatures, storage logs. Not because he was paranoid, because he learned. Silence doesn't protect you. It just gives them more room to lie. So, no. Eli wasn't confused, wasn't frozen, wasn't scared. He was watching. He was waiting. And somewhere deep under the collar of that gray shirt was everything he needed to respond. Not with noise, but with proof. A bell rang from down the block. Bike tires skidded, then quiet again. Someone walking by gave him a nod, not a hello. More like, "I see it too." Eli's eyes shifted, just slightly, toward the dash cam light, blinking steady blue. Still recording, still patient, still him. And the guy shouting? He didn't notice any of it. Didn't even ask why Eli wasn't blinking. Most people don't. Not until it's too late. A shadow stepped forward. Not loud, not fast, but certain, like someone who thought he belonged here. He wasn't dressed for city work. Helmet on, reflective sunglasses, black shirt with a chest harness, GoPro flashing red. "We're allowed to be here." His voice carried flat, not angry, authoritative, like someone used to saying things people wouldn't question. He moved with purpose, right into the crosswalk, held up a hand, palm open, like he was stopping traffic for children. "You're in the way, man," firm director, like he was doing Eli a favor by saying it calmly. No badge, no city ID, just a tone that sounded like it didn't need either. Eli's thumb pressed once, a soft click. Front camera armed. Behind them, a car honked twice. Sharp, ignored. The man didn't flinch, didn't turn. He stepped closer instead, motioned for someone off frame to keep moving. "They've got a permit," he said, to no one, but loud enough to be heard. One of the skaters lifted a phone to film. Wrong direction. Lens pointed outward, catching traffic. Not the man. Another, a girl in red, stopped just short of the camera's view. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't filming. She was pausing. Her eyes tracked the man's hand as it hovered near Eli's mirror. Then she stepped back. Small move, big signal. Eli's hand brushed the steering wheel. Nothing dramatic. Just contact. Just enough to ground him. Just enough to feel the space narrowing. The man leaned in slightly, still talking, still performing, still assuming this was his moment to manage. Behind his mirrored lenses, no one could tell where he was looking. But Eli knew. It wasn't about seeing, it was about showing. That line again. "We're allowed to be here." Eli tilted his head, slightly, didn't reply, didn't argue, didn't blink. The traffic light flicked yellow behind them, then red. Again, no cars moved, not yet. Because one man was speaking like he owned the corner, and the other was recording the moment he proved he didn't. No one watching knew which side was right, not yet. But something about the silence felt loaded. Sometimes silence makes you feel like you're the only one who noticed, but you're not. We've all been there, watching, waiting, knowing something's off. If this story stayed with you, stay with us. Subscribe. We don't shout, we show. Eli didn't follow him, didn't argue, didn't raise his voice once. He waited until the man turned his back, until the group moved on, skating out of frame like nothing had happened. Then Eli sat in the car for another minute. No engine, no music, just stillness. He tapped the dash, camera paused, timestamp locked. 1542, 8 Bloor, and Dufferin facing east. He took out the USB, labeled it, didn't change the file name, didn't trim the footage, didn't add captions or circle anything in red. He knew that wasn't how the truth wins. At home, he opened a folder marked Traffic Disputes. He'd made it years ago, never needed it until now. He dropped the footage in, opened city records, cross-referenced the board meeting's route map, checked the permit posting dates, read the timing, zone permissions, crowd limits, then looked again. The event had no authorization for Bloor and Dufferin, no stop clearance, no photo permit for major intersections. They weren't just blocking traffic, they were off route. That mattered, because Eli's footage didn't just show a man yelling, it showed the exact coordinates. It showed the group stopping in the middle of a functioning intersection. It showed non-participants being pushed aside. And it showed Jenna Lou, caught in the middle, being pointed at like a problem. He didn't know her name yet, but that didn't matter either, because what he had wasn't opinion. It was time-synced, geo-verified, uncut. He opened his email, typed 5 words, attaching unedited footage, time-synced, subject line, incident, permit conflict, May 14th, sent to the city transportation office. CC'd the clerk's office. No social media, no hashtags, no viral playbook. He pressed send. The auto reply came back instantly. Thank you. Logged. That was enough. Outside, the same light turned red again. He watched it change without moving. His car was still parked on the same line, but something had shifted, a small, silent shift in weight. The kind only the other person would feel. Later. He wasn't looking to sue, wasn't trying to ruin someone. He just wasn't going to let someone rewrite the truth while standing in his face. Some people yell to be heard, others just document it, then wait. Because once it's filed, once it's verified, once it's logged, you don't need to be loud, you just need to be first. He never shared the footage, not publicly, not even a frame. What he did share was the link, tucked quietly beneath a Facebook post about the event. Board meeting 2025, huge turnout. Thank you, Toronto. 32 comments in, no attention, no drama, just one line. This was yesterday, right? Here's what I saw. No username, no explanation, just a Google Drive link, unlisted, downloadable. People clicked. At first it was curiosity, then silence, then the shift. Comment 1. Wait, is this real footage? Comment 2. Who's the guy yelling at the girl? Comment 7. Did anyone actually approve this stop? Comment 14. Pause at 143. Look at his hand. Look where she's standing. Eli didn't reply. Didn't like, didn't follow. He simply bookmarked the thread, closed the tab, and waited. 2 days later, he checked back. 37 replies, 112 shares, no hashtags, no tagging. But the video had moved, from comments to DMs to community forums, and with it, so did the questions. Was that even a permitted route? Did the organizers notify the city? Why did no one step in when she got cornered? He recognized one name, city staff, liking a comment, not saying a word. Then came the second strike. Troy posted a status. Let's not lose sight of why we ride. Events like this bring people together. Some folks just don't understand the spirit. It was vague. It was calculated. It was a mistake. A reply appeared. "You mean the girl you screamed at?" Silence. Then another. "This you?" With a screenshot from the video. Him, mid-shout, finger aimed. Troy edited the post, softened the language, removed the word haters. But someone had already captured the original, posted it side by side with the clip. No rage, no accusation, just evidence. And now, names started surfacing, in whispers, in quote tweets, in subreddits, in neighborhood chats. Still, Eli said nothing. He saved the screenshot, backed up the video, labeled the folder, Toronto Commons, May, Witness Threads. He didn't gloat, didn't strike back. He didn't need to. Because the man yelling in the street had just yelled at the wrong person in the age of digital memory and quiet precision. He thought no one noticed. He thought it ended there. But Eli had simply walked off the board and placed his first piece. And now, the board was moving. For a moment, it looked like Troy was winning. He went live on Facebook, phone mounted, voice steady. Backdrop, a clean white wall, nothing random, nothing uncontrolled. "This video going around," he began, "is taken out of context." He looked straight at the camera, no hesitation. This was a sanctioned event. We had full permission. Anyone filming clearly didn't understand how street permits work. He smiled. Software like a coach explaining rules to a child. No one was threatened, no one was harmed, the energy was positive. That's what matters. Some people nodded, some clicked like, and for a second, it felt like Eli had missed his moment. But he hadn't. He'd been waiting. 15 minutes after the live stream ended, a new comment appeared beneath it. No caption, no emotion, just a link. For reference, compare from 142 to 218. Same corner, same timestamp, same man, pointing, yelling, blocking lanes. The audio was clear, the tone was sharp, the footage was exact. At 143, Troy's finger is in Jenna's face. At 146, a car honks behind them. At 2:01, Jenna steps back, visibly shaken. At 2:15, Troy yells, "You're not in charge here." Then, silence. It hit harder than any reply could. One comment below the clip. He said no one was threatened. Watch her flinch. Then another. "I used to work permitting." That stop, completely outside the approved zone. Then, finally, Jenna herself. "I'm a volunteer. We were assigned a different route. That man wasn't part of our organizing team. We asked him to stop. He didn't." That was it. Everything turned. People stopped defending, stopped guessing. They started quoting. Compare 142 to 218. Forwarded to city office. Logged. One by one, screenshots of Troy's contradictions spread. Facebook, Reddit, Nextdoor. Then came the quietest blow. Troy deleted the live stream, then the status, then went private. Eli didn't comment, didn't repost, didn't say a word. He forwarded the link to the city, again. Same subject line, same timestamp, no edit. Then, in the local forum thread, just below the final wave of replies, he added, "I appreciate your time. Let's keep the intersection safe." That's it. No gloating, no flex. But everyone watching knew this wasn't about traffic anymore. It was about control. And Troy had just lost it. Not to a louder man, but to a quieter one, who kept the tape and let him talk himself into the fall. 1 week later, he came back. Same corner, same time of day, same car. He didn't park long, just enough. He stepped out, soft cloth in hand, bent slightly, wiped the license plate once, then again. No one watched, no one asked. Behind him, the old super convenience sign had changed. New lettering, white bulbs, no red flicker, no leftover noise. It looked untouched, like nothing had ever happened, but the sidewalk still remembered. A faint scrape on the curb where the board dropped. Still there. Faint, but there. On the rearview mirror. A single board leaned quietly against the lamppost. Dust gathering, logo faded, wind picked up. The board tipped, fell flat. No one came to lift it. Eli didn't turn, didn't look for who left it, didn't need to. He opened the car door, paused. The GPS screen still glowed, a tiny red pin, Same coordinates, same timestamp. He stared for a moment, then tapped once. Clear location history? Yes. The map reset. Blank. Clean. Still. He folded the cloth, tucked it into the console, pulled the door shut. No music, no air, just the quiet hum of the engine warming up. For the first time, his mouth moved. Not a smile, just a release. Then he drove. Slowly, no rush. Didn't look back. Didn't need a mirror, because what needed to be seen had already been seen. And what needed to fall had already fallen. Sometimes, the loudest thing in the room is a man who says nothing. He doesn't argue, doesn't demand. He just remembers. A voice. A rule. The weight of something passed down without a sound. Some people fight with anger. Others wait for the wind to change. A scratch on a car door. A board left under a street lamp. A girl stepping back, then choosing to speak. That's how truth shows up. Not marching, just present. Undeniable. Justice for some isn't a punishment. It's the return of balance. No trophy, no headline, just a name, quietly cleared. Because in the end, there are men who shout to win. And there are those who prepare, not to win, but to make sure the lie doesn't get the last word. Some things you don't erase, you outlast. And some peace is not the absence of noise, but the kind that arrives when no one needs to ask who was right.